This is the A810 4K dashcam from 70May, one of the fastest growing dashcam companies in the world. Established in 2016, they have managed to sell over 2 million units. One of their latest products is the A810, which is a dashcam with a Sony sensor. I picked it up just a few weeks ago, but I have a lot to say about it. Let's go. Contrary to what some might think, the 70May is not a subsidiary of nor owned by the Chinese giant Xiaomi. Although 70May do have a partnership that allows you to use some of the 70May products on the Mi app, it's merely a partnership. But you can be forgiven if you thought so, as the 70May design, quality, origin, and affordable prices is similar to that of the Xiaomi. Now you might have your own reasons for picking up a dashcam, like for example, fighting an insurance company, a ticket in court, recording encounters with the police, or simply gather footage for a YouTube channel. Regardless of the reason, it's becoming really important and useful to have a dashcam in your vehicle. And 70May makes it easy, real easy. First of all, I have indirectly used one of the previous models. I bought it for my father 3 years ago and I've been his tech support ever since. And it has been working incredibly well. No lags, easy to connect and extract footage out of, and the footage is decent, clear, and discernible. And you have an almost 360 view with few dead spots, making use of the front and rear camera. There are other dashcams in the market that are highly rated, but the only issue with them is the price. 70May offers all the features you can think of for less than third the price of some of these dashcams. The one I bought comes with the front and rear camera, and it retails for around $180. And for an additional $75, you can buy accessories and turn it into a full-blown security camera. With this cable, you can connect it directly to your fuse box and have it running 24/7. Or with this 4G modem, you can connect it to the internet and access footage from anywhere in the world. Make sure it's not connected directly to the battery, as the kit is capable of drawing up to 30 volts of power. This will kill the battery overnight. Connecting it to the fuse box limits the draw to about 12 volts, and it's regulated by the car's internal components. If you intend on doing it yourself, you will need a multimeter. Both these cables have a chip that allows the camera to enter parking or surveillance mode. Or if you want to keep things simple, you can pick up the front and back camera for around $150 from their official store on Amazon. Out of the box, you get everything you need to get started. You get both the front and back camera, a plastic piece with adhesive to stick to the inside of your windscreen. This is really useful because it helps you get the perfect alignment, a USB-C charging cable for the front camera, a cigarette lighter, power adapter, a very long cable to connect the rear camera to the front camera, a small tool for tucking the wires, and an instruction manual. Installing it takes few minutes, and you don't need to be a technician to do so. I would suggest to test a few spots before you commit to one, as it will help you pick the best angle and position. You can power it up using the provided power adapter, but you have to deal with the wires dangling out. A more elegant solution would be to route the wire from the top near the sun visor directly to the fuse box underneath your steering wheel. This can be done easily, and there are videos explaining how to do it. This solution is not only elegant and clean, but also keeps your precious charging port available for other purposes. The rear camera is plug and play, but it requires a bit of cable management, as you need to tuck the cable away. You will need an SD card to record the footage, which is not provided and need to be bought separately. You don't need to buy a super fast speed SD card that's used for professional camera. The budget option from SanDisk will do just fine. I will leave a link in the description for the one I'm using. According to the manual, it supports up to 256 gigabytes. Assuming that you're a full-time driver who drives up to 10 hours a day, this means you can get up to 4 days worth of footage at a resolution of 1080p, or about 12 hours of 4K recording. It may not sound like a lot, but even large corporations usually keep about 2 months worth of footage at the standard resolution. And at 4K, 12 hours worth of recording is more than enough for the average person. I did try to test it with a 512 GB card, but it kept trying to format the card without being able to format it. And I suspect that it will make full use of the 512 gigabytes memory even if it did manage to format it, and it will treat it as 256 gigabytes and delete footage past this capacity. The way it works is, once you reach the full capacity of your storage, the dashcam starts deleting old footage and uses the space to record new footage. This happens seamlessly, so you don't need to worry about configuring it. And that's one of the advantages of a dashcam versus something like a repurposed GoPro. Yes, the footage is better on the GoPro, but practicality is non-existent. Not to mention that we don't know how a GoPro would hold up exposed to the sunlight for long periods of time. Most dashcams are made of material that holds well over time. The one that my father used is still going strong after 3 years of use. Speaking of repurposing, you can use the rear camera as a reverse camera by clicking on this button here. This button will only be available if the rear camera is detected. Although not the best solution, it does help a little, especially if you drive an SUV, and considering that the screen got bigger from previous generations. You can also use the rear camera to record the inside of your vehicle if you wish to do so, by placing it on the inside of your windshield, effectively having a 280 degrees field of view, 150 degrees from the front and 130 from the back. 70 also offers something more suitable for that kind of recording, the Omni X200, but I prefer the A810 design, and the Omni X200 lacks SD card support and has a resolution of 1080p only. And if you're wondering if the camera on the older models rotate to the inside of your car, the answer is no. I have tried it. By inserting the SD card, you'll be asked to press a button to format it. And once it's done, the light indicator on the bottom of the dashcam will turn green, meaning it started recording. When connecting the rear camera, it will be recognized immediately and start recording as long as the front camera is recording, making it super easy to use. It records clips with a duration of 1 minute each. This is far more useful as you don't want to spend time scrubbing through a 10-hour clip looking for a 10 seconds worth of footage. When viewing the footage, they will be displayed with thumbnails, making it easy to recognize the footage from your trips. You have the option of bumping up the duration time to 2 or max of 3 minutes per clip. This I find more useful as the 1 minute clip is a bit short for my liking and use. The dashcam can be easily operated using the 4 navigation buttons on the front. All the settings can be adjusted using the dashcam itself, but like most 70mm dashcams, you can also connect it to your phone using the 70mm app, available on Play Store and Apple Store. It offers the ability to extract footage directly to your phone. It's a bit slow for my liking, but nothing to worry about. The A810 is capable of recording both video and audio, but the audio recording is turned off by default. This can be easily changed on the settings, whether on the app directly or from the dashcam itself. Now, although the camera is 4K, don't expect it to be used as a GoPro. It's not meant to be used that way, simply because you will not be able to capture close-up subjects. The camera is configured to be used from a distance, so close-up shots are out of focus. While viewing the footage from the app, you might think that the footage is choppy and slow. I have seen people leaving bad reviews saying that the footage is bad, but that either happens when you're looking directly at the dashcam or when you're viewing it from the app. It's simply a Wi-Fi limitation. Once you download the footage, it's consistent and clear. The files on the camera are highly compressed to save space. If you have issues playing the footage on your PC, try playing it with a program like VLC. Even with older models, with the resolution of 2.7K, the footage is clear and you're able to read license plates when you pause the video, provided that you're not driving the opposite side at a high rate of speed. I think it's important to clarify by now, dashcams are not made to compete for the best quality images. They're made for endurance and lengthy durations. Think of it like a security camera. Improving the quality past a certain point becomes redundant. You're not going to post the footage on social media and use filters on it And plus, it introduces a new challenge. Increasing the resolution decreases the amount of footage you can record. What's important for a dashcam is frame rate or FPS, field of view, and duration or length of recording. With the A810, you get even better clarity as it's capable of recording at 60 FPS versus previous models which recorded at 30 FPS. Just make sure that you remove the plastic cover from the lens if you happen to have one. Mine had a plastic cover on the rear camera. While shopping for it, you might have noticed that they do advertise it as having a night vision. It works good at night because it has an aperture of f1.8, which means the opening of the lens that allows the light to the sensor is large. And it uses a software enhancement to brighten up the images, similar to what a smartphone would do in night mode. However, it's not exactly a night vision, meaning in absolute pitch dark, it's difficult to make use of the footage. The words night vision is traditionally used for equipments that emits laser beams that are not visible to the naked eye and picks up those laser beams, giving you a true night vision. Meaning, even without light, you're able to capture footage that you wouldn't otherwise be able to see with the naked eye. The A810 does not have this technology. Now, let's talk about ADAS and AI detection. ADAS stands for Advanced Driver Assistance System. It gives you audible warnings and directions to improve your driving experience. By default, it's turned off in the settings. You can turn it on by going to Smart Travel from the menu, select ADAS, and then toggle the switch on. When you see the yellow line, you want to align it with the lowest point of view of your vehicle and click OK. Then you will be asked to drive for a few minutes and then it will say ADAS is activated successfully. As for the functionality and accuracy, it works as intended. It gives you audible warning when it detects a vehicle slowing down ahead of you. It knows when you're crossing lanes and acknowledges it, and it even detects pedestrians. It works with great accuracy during the day, but it struggles a bit during the night. The quality of the markings on the road plays a big part, as the camera uses them to understand your movement. As for the AI detection, I was not able to test it. It requires either of the two cables that I showed you to activate this feature. Although the camera does have an internal battery that's good for about 10 or 20 minutes, it's not enough for the camera to do surveillance or AI detection, which requires constant power that the battery cannot provide. From doing research, you can expect similar results with the ADAS feature. In other words, it's very decent. This is a feature that's not heavily advertised, but useful nonetheless. During the 3 years period, I believe there was about 2 or 3 software updates. Software updates can be useful to improve footage or add new features. Although it's not as frequent as you might see on a smartphone, it is certainly a welcomed feature. Software or firmware can be easily updated by going into the app, clicking on the 3 lines on the top right, and then tapping Firmware Update. Emergency video is another cool feature. I first noticed it when I was driving through bumpy roads. It's a way to highlight certain footage and separate it from the rest, or when you choose to have the dashcam not recording all the time and only record at certain times. But it can also be used as a theft protection feature when the car is stationary and it detects a movement. It can be activated in 3 different ways, provided that it's enabled in the settings. First one is obvious, is when the dashcam detects an unusual movement like a bump or a shake. This happens by utilizing the built-in G sensor. Second one is by clicking on the second button from the left. This will start recording a 30 seconds clip. And the third one is by voice activation. Besides the built-in G sensor, it also has a built-in GPS, meaning you can have the coordinates of your exact location visible on the footage at any given time. This is optional and can be turned off in the settings. It's enabled by default along with the 70 May logo, which can be both turned off in the settings if you prefer to. One cool thing you can do is to type the coordinates in Google and it will give you the exact location the footage was recorded. Very nice. Even if you think you don't need one, it might be worth trying it. Once in a lifetime footage can happen at any moment. By the time you buy one because you just missed an opportunity, that opportunity may never come again. For a $200 investment, you get to have fun with it, and it could possibly save you thousands of dollars in the future in courts or with insurance companies. Like I said in the beginning, you don't need to spend a fortune to get a dashcam. 70-made dashcams provides you with all the features you need to record your trips at a very affordable price. Coupled with the longevity and ease of use, it is certainly a product I would recommend to everyone. I will leave a link in the description for the product. By choosing to buy the product using the link, you're also supporting the channel at no additional cost to yourself. That's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.